Alright guys, so it's been a while since I have updated the Tower of Ventures tier list, and especially with the release of our new Lemon Zest, I thought it was about time for us to update it and kind of show you guys what the meta is for the raid, as well as some of the other cookies that are going to be greatly used. Just keep in mind that this is going to be based on my experience as well as my opinion as well. I pretty much use every single cookies except for Sting Durian, but I do have a lot of opinions based from other like friends and players that I have met. They do have their opinions on it, and I do agree with it based on what I've seen from the gameplays as well as the damage output and the skill description. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know we do have the new stage 5 as well for the raid, and because of the addition of stage 5, actually a lot of different things have changed. A lot of cookies have started to be used a lot more for the general public rather than for the rankers who are, you know, kind of speedrunning and everything. So let's get into it, guys. Let's go into the tier list right now. Alright guys, so this is going to be the tier list, and as you guys can see, I've actually divided this into the meta raid as well as the S for the raid, and then S, A, B, and C to kind of generalize what is being used inside the raid, and then for the single player modes, kind of like the Rift, the Last Labyrinth, and things like that. So let's get into it, guys. Let's start out with the raid right now with the new Cactuar as well as the stage 5 raid. So without a doubt, for anybody who are wondering, Dark Choco is going to be the absolute meta right now for any of the raid bosses as well as just boss battles in general inside of the game. However, for this raid, because of the fact that we still do have the raid element bonus as the light and dark Choco is actually going to be the top. And if you guys do check the leaderboard, you guys can see that it is going to be favoring Dark Choco as well as Alchemist and Rockstar because of the current element. And I already made a video on that as well of me actually reaching ranking 1. We kind of built that, and then everybody started to follow as well. So yeah, without a doubt, Dark Choco is going to be the meta for raid. And with that, of course, we still have Rockstar as well, and in my opinion, Alchemist. These three are going to be the quote-unquote meta for this week's raid of Cactuar. And in my opinion, if you do still level up Dark Choco, if you are not going for the speed run, Dark Choco is still going to be greatly used because of the great damage output of his skills as well as his ultimate. And then Rockstar, of course, going to continue to be a great cookie to be used because of the fact that Rockstar is going to have that ability to buff up any cookie inside of his ultimate. Alchemist is used greatly with the pairing of Dark Choco because she is going to be the dark element tagger. And then for the raid S, I want to go into right here. Lemon Zest is going to be amazing because of the extra light damage that we do get from the raid boss element. Lemon Zest actually does perform pretty darn well with damage output with his skill, ultimate, and things like that, as long as you do learn his techniques, the charging abilities, as well as if you start getting more promos on him because his abilities actually do a lot more damage with it. All right, so with that, we do have Wizard as well as the quote-unquote light tagger to be used inside of the raid with Lemon Zest. Still, I would say that the combo with Dark Choco and Alchemist is going to be better, but Lemon Zest and Wizard for casual players is not going to be bad either. And then with that, of course, we still have Cream Soda as well as a pretty decent damage dealer. I would say anybody who have leveled up Cream Soda for the last 2 or 3 raids that we have had before, you know, it's still going to be okay. Of course, you do lack the damage because you don't have the 30% extra damage, but you know, if you have the ability to level up Lemon Zest or Dark Choco, probably going to be better to level these two up for the raid rather than using Cream Soda. But something that I want to add to the S tier for the raid actually is gonna be Chamomile as well as Crushed Pepper. All right, so these two cookies are actually going to save your butt. These cookies are the cookies that if you're generally playing in the public lobby where you find random people to play with, for the stage 5, these two cookies are actually really good because of the survivability that Chamomile actually gives with the healing. And if you actually somehow made Chamomile into a 5-star promo cookie, then you also do have a revival, which is going to be beneficial for anybody who starts to die. But another one that really shines is going to be Crushed Pepper. Crushed Pepper actually carries the team with that shield, with an indestructible amount of shield that you're able to get because you're able to refresh it. And of course, if you start promoting Crushed Pepper actually does have a very strong skill here. It continues to increase the amount of fire damage that you do when you have the shield, as well as this one right here. When you have a shield, your damage is actually going to increase by 1% of max HP. And you know, Crushed Pepper is going to be a tank is going to have a extreme high HP, and with that, a lot of people actually started to see that crushed pepper actually does quite some damage. So this is a cookie that, you know, not a lot of people were using in the beginning because there was no real reason to have a shield, but as stage 5 came out and a lot of the people who are starting to just reach 40,000 power, crushed pepper as well as chamomile are actually benefiting their team because these two cookies are able to actually not have them die. So with that, I'm gonna be leaving the meta as well as S tier for the raid. Of course, you can use other cookie, and that is fine, but in my opinion, please try to stay away from it. People might be thinking, how about rye? Let me just tell you guys, inside of the raid right now, rye is kind of like a cookie that, yes, you can still use, but you're kind of not helping out the team as much if you are able to level up or have invested already in someone like cream soda or dark choco especially, or someone like lemon zest right now. Alright guys, so now going to the solo play of things. For the S tier, I'm going to be putting lemon zest as well as cream soda as well as dark choco. These three are going to still be, just like you have seen in the raid, a great damage dealer. I would say lemon zest as well as cream soda are actually going to be better generally, just because they do have a lot of AoE damage as well as burst damage and just continuous damage as well, while dark choco does lack a bit of the continuous damage, still has a great burst damage dealing with bosses, but generally solo plays, these two are going to be great. They are going to be the main damage dealers for your teams, like a light team as well as your water team as well as dark team, and these cookies are going to just benefit you throughout a lot of different runs. And alongside that, I'm going to actually put cherry. So cherry is actually a really good area damage dealer with the burn as well as the skill damage, so really good here. And then of course we still have Rockstar with that extra damage buff, so I will have to say Rockstar is really good as well. And then one last one I'm going to actually add to the S tier is going to be Plantain. Plantain is actually a really good area damage dealer as well as someone who's able to group up the enemies as well, and then being the wind tagger and somebody who can actually switch out really quickly, I would say Plantain is pretty darn good for the solo plays as well. All right, and the only reason why rye was decently used, Plantain, was that reason. All right, so now moving on to the A tier is going to be your rye here. I'm going to put rye right there. And then we're going to put wizard here as well. I'm going to put chamomile here. All right. And then I'm going to actually put crushed pepper here. So these cookies right over here, rye, of course, going to still be your decent damage dealer or the wind element as well. So if you guys are using for the glass labyrinth or the infinite labyrinth, you're going to have to use someone like rye plus plantain. That will be a pretty good combo right there. You still have wizard. Wizard overall as an area damage dealer, pretty darn great as well. I would say, in my opinion, cherry is a bit stronger just because of the continuous damage as well as the really quick rotation on the skills. So I would say cherry is a bit stronger, but wizard, as you do promote and things like that, of course, he's going to become really strong as well. And then the same reason for crushed pepper as well as chamomile. Chamomile's healing is still pretty, the number one here inside of the game as well. And then crushed pepper, of course, again, the glass labyrinth and things like that, crushed pepper actually does help out for a lot of the general public, just because of the fact that not everybody's gonna have everything maxed out. Not everyone's gonna have, you know, super tanky cookies or super buffed up cookies. So those shields actually does help out a lot as well. And then the last one I'm actually gonna add to the A tier, it's gonna be Gumball. Of course, Gumball is going to be your water element tagger as well as somebody who is able to debuff the water res of your enemies, so definitely helps out in matching up with someone like cream soda for your glass labyrinth. And then the next tier is going to be B tier. For the B tier, I'm going to have someone like chili pepper as well as twisted donut, and then I'm going to add someone like werewolf as well as alchemist here, and then pistachio as the last one. So these cookies are generally just going to be used if you really need to. Of course, alchemist is going to be for the raid, but generally beside the raid, alchemist is not really used. Werewolf too can be used, but I'm gonna have to say, sadly, even though I have 2 uniques of his weapon, you know, you're just not gonna be using werewolf too much. Pistachio, you know, some people do argue that pistachio can be really good as well, but you do need to have it at 5-star promotion, and for 5-star promotion for rare, you actually need to pull a lot. So that is very niche, and in my opinion, not going to be very useful for a lot of players. Putting it at B is more reasonable than putting it at something S, which like maybe 1 or 2% of the players are actually going to use. Chili pepper, I want to see how great. Chili pepper might actually become later down the line, but crushed pepper as of right now is going to be a better fire type cookie. And then with malted sauce cookie coming out, we'll see how that goes. But chili pepper does do some damage as well. And for the glass labyrinth, if you need to use someone like chili or crushed pepper, still going to be your good fire type damage dealer. And then Twisted Donut as your kind of turret guy in the beginning as well. And then I forgot to actually add Sting Durian onto the A tier, but Sting Durian is going to be your main earth damage dealer as well. A pretty good nuker as well as a range cookie. But generally right now, because of the fact that we have someone like Lemon Zest as well as Cream Soda and Dark Choco kind of just doing all around a good job, especially Dark Choco with the boss damage and then these two as a great solo play cookie. Just Sting Durian is not really being used as much. And then having someone like Twisted Donut as your only tagger right now is kind of a downside for Sting Durian as well. So that's going to be the main reason why I'm putting it at A tier. And the last one, C tier, is going to be your 4 of the common cookies as well. Generally, I would say gingerbread. If you are doing a speed run, gingerbread will be at the very top with the 2 dashes, but that is going to be it. Muscle cookie as well as angel are just not used, especially if you guys are using angel as your raid cookie. I'm gonna have to say you're kind of trolling. Ninja, yes, I did say last time that Ninja, especially because we had the wind element, people were using Ninja as a raid cookie. Now with the wind element gone, not going to be used at all right now, so pretty much I would say stay away from Ninja if possible. All right guys, that's going to be the tier list here. Hopefully you guys kind of understand why I place some of these cookies in here, and especially with the splitting of the raid as well as the regular general gameplay. I hope that kind of summarizes a little bit better than having everything grouped up together and then saying that, oh, it's mainly focused on raid, while you still have all the other gameplays as well. But I do have to say one thing, guys. Sorry it is a little late because we have only 2 days and about like 18 hours at the time of this recording of the raid mode. So I would try to update the tier list as soon as possible, a day or 2 after the raid does change, so that you guys have the latest cookies for the raid. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have anything to change that you guys would like to give some opinions about. And if you guys want to check out the other videos that I have of Tower Adventures, then please do on the screen in front of you. Thanks for watching.